But that is how we feel about our security forces. They must live and sleep in an environment that is befitting of their efforts. And when they wake up in the morning, they must be recharged to go out and do the work that they are charged to do. This morning is an extremely proud occasion, not only for myself, but for the cabinet of the Nevis Island administration, and also the people of Nevis, and by extension, the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Today is a historic day, of course. And it is an important day because today bears testimony to the fact that we as an administration here on the island of Nevis is charged with the responsibility of carrying out the mandate of looking after the affairs of everyone on the island of Nevis, including our security forces, the police, and of course, fire officers. So this morning's proceedings is one that I personally am proud of. And of course, mention was made by His Excellency, the Honorable Van Zamri, about this project being placed in my responsibility from the onset. It is always good to reflect and go back before we come to where we are, and then determine where we go from here. But I will establish at this point in time that this particular project was not an easy one to undertake. It had its challenges from day one until even today, because we got going late. So we've had our challenges, but in spite of challenges, despite our challenges, we are here today to celebrate a momentous occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to you, since the demolition of the old police station back in 2016, we have had to deal with many questions over the last 4 years at least. Persons would have met me and asked, how you're going to get it rebuilt? When will it be rebuilt? Where are you going to find the money? Those are some of the questions. As a matter of fact, someone asked me as well, are we going to put a magistrate court in this particular facility? That might have been a good thing. It would have been an excellent idea, but there's still room for expansion. So that can certainly work here in the north of the island. As I said before, this is an extremely proud occasion. And yes, I'm extremely proud because we would have achieved this project against all odds. And to put things into context, I say against all odds because even though there were persons, like I said before, who felt there was no need to rebuild this police station, even though there were challenges initially with resources, financial resources from, for example, the federal government, which they did come on board, which we'll speak about later. And even though there were challenges in putting together a team to construct this particular facility, we pressed on nonetheless, and of course, against all odds, we're here today. I am extremely proud this morning because we did not give up at any point in time. We did not seek for excuses, but we remained focused at the task at hand, and we remained focused on our mandate to the security forces here on the island of Nevis and to the people of Nevis, in whom we continue to invest heavily in the safety and security of our people here on Nevis and by extension, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. This official opening ceremony this morning is a fulfillment of a pledge made back in 2013 by myself as the elected representative of St. James. I did speak to the police back then. I've spoken to members of the community, and my mandate at that point in time and my pledge was to ensure that at some point over the period of time of my tenure as the representative, whether locally or federally, we must rebuild, we must demolish and rebuild this police station. In 2015, I will say that I made the commitment as we campaigned. I was not successful then, and that is okay, but it did not prevent me from attempting to fulfill that commitment of rebuilding this police station. So even though I was not elected, it created some challenges, of course, but my colleagues in the Honorable Van Samre and Mark Brantley were elected to the federal parliament and government. And I beseech them then to make some attempt to ensure that we can have a brand new police station here in Newcastle. As a matter of fact, I think I see P.S. Petty here among us. He's here, I'm sure. P.S. Petty, put your hands up, please. Thank you. You're short, so I want to see you. You can recall on many occasions I would have called you back in 2015. After it was indicated then that we might be the recipient of another police station from the good people of the Republic of Mexico, the government and people, that is, of the Republic of Mexico, I would have spoken to you. And I said, you already have one in Diet Bay. You already have one in Tamanaco, which were presented to you by the government and people of Mexico. So please let us have the third one that is coming. Lo and behold, it didn't materialize, but that's okay. When I got the disappointing news from my colleague, the Honorable Mark Brantley, that there were some different plans afoot in terms of financing a water enhancement project in Basti area, I said, good, that's not a problem, water is life. So I didn't become dissuaded in any way. So in 2016, I'm moving along, in 2016, when we met with the security forces, the High Command, I believe it was in the cabinet room at the Social Security building. The Honorable Van Samre was there, he was the premier then. Stedman Truss was there as the cabinet secretary. Myself, it was not a full cabinet, but of course, the security forces came. And they pleaded at that point in time for some relief. They said it couldn't continue anymore. They couldn't live in these conditions anymore. At that point in time, as was mentioned by the Honorable Van Samre, he did say, Jeff, it's up to you. We'll have to find a way. We'll have to find a way. The police decided on the 16th of November 2016, they couldn't take it anymore. One evening I was driving past this the old building, and I see it was dark. We knew the police wanted to move, but we didn't anticipate they were going to move that quickly. So it was a shock to me. I asked the officer in charge then, please go back and turn on the lights so persons would think that you're still there. Honestly, I did, because you pass here in the evening, it was dark then, and of course anyone seeing that with ulterior motives would think differently, to you and I. So we were left on the lights here for some time. The police would have moved out. We had to find a way to get them back. Some felt that it was better for them to patrol the entire district and not have a home to go to in the evening. I felt differently. And as such, we were able to secure, or we were able to get premises just in the vicinity of the Van Samre International Airport for the police. They're still there at this point in time, but they'll be back shortly. So they have been there since. Since then, my task has been to find the resources to rebuild the Newcastle Police Station. And of course, the challenges were there, because the financial challenges that were being faced by the Nevis Island administration were there. But of course, they say where there is a will, there is a way. And I want to give you a short quotation by Les Brown. I think he's a motivational speaker in the United States. That has been my guiding principle, and which would have guided me throughout this project. He has said, and I quote, "The graveyard is the richest place on earth, because it is here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never shared, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was too afraid to take the first step, keep with the problem, and determined to carry out their dream." That is a powerful quotation. And I live by that quotation day after day. And that is why we have this station here today. Because in 2016, when as they say, quote unquote, the water looked dark, I turned to the same very quotation. As a matter of fact, after we demolished the building in 2016, there was an empty space here. At that point in time, the Honorable Mark Brantley, well, he still is, but he was the minister responsible for foreign affairs. He was in the federal government. We had a conversation, and I told him I'm about to start the process of putting the plans together to reconstruct this building. So he told me to come down to St. Kitts, picked him up, and we went down to Diet Bay. That was one of the police stations that was donated by the government and people of Mexico. I remember the Jeep that I was driving then, it was a stick shift, and even going down to Diet Bay, I was sort of showing myself. I don't think you could drive stick shift. Can you? Maybe. So we were heading down to Diet Bay at a clip. Got to Diet Bay, looked at the station there, had a tour, and we are thankful for that. Gave us some ideas. But we also, to those ideas, added our own creative ideas. And when you eventually go into that particular facility, you would realize how wonderful those ideas were. But let me move along, because in 2017, we drafted the plans with the assistance of Mr. Colin Walters. We had input from the police, we had input from all stakeholders who would eventually occupy this building. But we had a plan with no money. So we went on throughout the whole of 2017 wondering where are we going to find the resources. In December of 2017, when things looked doubtful, I said, I'm going to start the station one way or the other. If I start it, it will finish someday. What start must finish. So we started with a mere $50,000. I don't know if the general manager of the NHLDC is here, Dexter Boncampa. He may not be here. But I called Dexter Boncampa and I asked him to reach out to the directors of the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation, solicit their assistance in allocating just $50,000 so we can get the foundation dug and get the project going. We did get that $50,000. I'm thankful to the directors of the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation who believed in us and gave us those resources. So we prodded along in 2017, and in 2018, after the local Nevis Island Assembly elections, somewhere in the first quarter of 2018, we had a cabinet meeting where I presented the project to the cabinet of the Nevis Island administration, cabinet that is. Well, I was chastised by the premier then, the Honorable Mark Brantley. He said, Minister, that's not how we're going to do it. And he was right, because we took an unorthodox route to getting the job done. Never again have I done that. Never again have any minister of the NIA done such thing of starting a project without getting the full backing of cabinet. That is the right thing to do. I started differently because I wanted it done. The people of St. James were asking me, when will it be done? The people of Nevis wanted it to be done. The police as well have met me every day and asked me, when are you going to get this thing done? So we started and we prodded along. Many a times I had calls from the contractor, Mr. Jasper Stapleton, who is here. And I must say, I'll give him a round of applause. Because Jasper Stapleton would have taken on this project, and many a times I wonder how is he getting through financially. Because I know we were having difficult times. The subcontractors were having difficult times. But when it was all said and done, they always called me, and I always give them some word of assurance. One of the things I've always told them, for the next year and a half, 2 years, you know where you're going to turn your head. You know where you're going to go to work. So bear with us, we'll get through this. So in 2017, we made it through. We got the approval of the cabinet of the Nevis Island administration. We got a loan from the First Caribbean Development Bank. I believe it was in the region of 2.6 or 2.7 million. I believe the Premier would speak more about that when he comes. But we had some funds to move forward. Later on, we were able to get some assistance from the federal government, which we are appreciative of. We're very appreciative of that. But we could not wait. Even though it's a federal project, we could not wait. We had to get the job done. So the project moved on, and we have had our challenges and difficulties over the years. But we've been able to get to where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, you may ask, well, why was it done through the management of the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation? Well, let me say we have handled many projects over the years, not under this administration alone, but prior administrations. But under this Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation, we have managed many projects on behalf of the NIA. I can speak of the Joycelyn Library Primary School Kitchen, the veterinary clinic, the processing wing at the abattoir, concrete roads in Rollins, Matchmans, Simmons's, River Part, Fothergill, Zion, Butlers, Madden's, Cotton Ground, I can go on and on. So what does that say? It says that the resources, the capacity, and the persons who are capable of managing such a project were available to us at the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation. And I want to thank them. I want you to give them some applause as well. Because of course, they would have had to put up with all of the difficulties encountered at that point in time. So I want to thank them. But ladies and gentlemen, the story has to be told as to where we have come from and why we are here and where we're headed. I want to say before I go into the specifics of the building quickly, that those who may have seen a need not to rebuild this police station, just think about it this way. This police station sits in a community, a constituency where you have a medical school, hundreds of students. We have an airport, we have a seaport, we have health centers, we have churches, we have schools, we have citizens or residents who live here. We have an entire cross-sections of persons. Oh, Nisbet Plantation, hotels, as a matter of fact. Nisbet Plantation, Mount Nevis, Wally Beach. We have rental apartments. We have all the amenities that constitute an entire island. That is why this is not for you to run away with. That is why I say to my colleagues in cabinet all the time, there may be a day or someday to come when the parish of St. James will secede from Nevis. Because we have all the amenities here to operate as an island. But that is just for joke. We are good together and we are staying together. But ladies and gentlemen, this station today, as I said before, is one that I'm extremely proud about. And my pride will be with me until God knows when. Because when you represent people, you must represent them in a fashion where you put their very best interest front and center in what you do. And when you depart the stage, you must be able to look back and say, it was because of my effort. We've been able to do that. We've been able to do that or the other. And that is why the word legacy comes to mind. We have to build a legacy as a people, not as a politicians alone, but as a people. Whether you're parents, whether you're mothers and fathers, your legacy would be what you leave behind in terms of your young daughter, your young son. But ladies and gentlemen, let me turn quickly to the specifics of this building. It is a lovely building, of course. And when you get inside, you have heard about a hotel. Well, it's close to Four Seasons standard. But that is how we feel about our security forces. They must live and sleep in an environment that is befitting of their efforts. And when they wake up in the morning, they must be recharged to go out and do the work that they are charged to do. And that is why this is not too good for them. It is the best we can give to them. And I am pleased that I was able to spearhead this. This building is just about 9,009 square feet. It has a bottom floor and a top floor, 2 floors. The police station, which is on the, if you're facing the building, it is the left wing. On the ground floor, you have the corporal office, inspector's office, sergeant's office, secretary office, a lobby, laundry, lunchroom, interrogation room, recreation room, processing room, 2 holding cells, 3 bathrooms, and 1, included in those 3 bathrooms would be 1 handicap bathroom. You have 4, a port here that can hold 4 vehicles, they say. I hope so. But this is the garage that can hold at least 4 vehicles. On the first floor of the police station, you have all living quarters, a kitchen, dining area, a deck. And the deck, you can see the entire environs. You can see all the way into Frigate Bay. You can see beyond, and you can almost see Montserrat, because Montserrat is in the southeast. And the fire station end of it, on the ground floor there is open recreational lounge, 2 offices, interrogation room, fire truck garage, and also on the first floor you have living quarters, a deck, kitchen. So it is a building that is fully equipped to handle both male and female fire officers, both male and female police officers, and it is a building that I believe every police on the island will be craving to come here to live. Although we want all of you here, those who work here though, I want you to give it your best effort. Serve the people with integrity. Serve the people knowing that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis deserve your very, very best effort. I want to wish this building well. I want to thank the contractor once again. I want to thank all of the subcontractors. I want to thank everyone who had something to do with the overall aesthetics of this surrounding this morning. Everyone would have played their part, and we are eternally thankful for that. I want to close by saying that this project is testimony to our efforts once again as an administration. Whatever you give us, we will utilize as best as we can. Whatever shortcomings there are, we'll find a way to make it to the end. But all in all, through the grace of God, we continue to give him thanks and praise, because he's the one who provides the strength and the sustenance for what we do as a people. May God bless this building. May God bless all of us. May God bless the entire Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And may this be a building that from it will emanate some good security forces, men and women who will do their job with some pride and dignity, because they have the surroundings from which to do that. Thank you very much for listening, and I wish everyone well.